On this episode of Hudson Valley Hustle, I'm joined by Jason Peralta. He's the head of marketing for JP McHale Pest Management, one of the largest pest management companies in the area, doing over $60 million a year. He manages the entire marketing plan for this company with just him and somebody else. I think you're going to get a ton of value out of this episode. Hope you enjoy. There's no way you have three kids that are... You have two in college?
Two in college.
And one in high school?
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit. I'm cheating a little bit because we're a blended family. So I met my wife when both our kids were going to the same elementary school. I was the cool, handsome, single dad that I'm totally corny. I'm a geek. So we were both single parents. And at my age, I was in my young 20s. To find another single parent was kind of like young 20s too. Was not something that it was very easy to find, and so we had so many things in common, like trying to afford to bring a kid up and be under your 20s. It's a financial strain, and just figuring out like where do we go for like good summer camps that won't kill the bank, and so we became friends. And then from friendship, it really our relationship started, and it took a while to kind of get the Brady Bunch because it's a situation together, but we did, and we've been together for almost 13 years now.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, good for you.
So the kids are actually knew who they were, like they met in school, and became siblings.
That's wild, man.
And to this day, we're a big, happy family, yeah.
I'm just saying, you don't look like you have...
No, well, there's a lot of yoga and meditation, but I think if you were to ask me about 7 years ago, I would definitely look like I had 7 kids. So I'm on the way down from high parenting years.
I've got almost an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I'm like... Yeah. The grays are coming.
Yeah.
Dude. Like
that's where I get this from.
Yeah, but I don't know. No, your face doesn't look like it. You don't look like the weathered dad.
I have run to soccer, then to karate, then pick up the cupcakes for tomorrow's birthday party. And snap, she's sick. Okay, now we gotta go to the doctor too. You forgot your medicine. Okay, all right. I mean, the funniest story. I tell this story. My youngest, it's just pure parent story. We were rushing to the Metro North to get the train because we got to go downtown because at that point they were still going to school in the city. So we were like, we got to go. We put everyone in the car and all that. My youngest gets in the car and we get to the train station and I'm like, all right, ready to go. Everyone has everything? Like, yep. And, it was hard to find parking spot at the train station. So I was excited. We got everything. And then my daughter was like, oh, I forgot one thing. I was like, oh, whatever it is, don't worry about it. We could deal with it. She's like, but it's my pants. She's like, I forgot my pants. And I was like, what? How do you miss that? How do you miss that? She was like, well, I put on the skirt, but I didn't put on my pants underneath the skirt. And I was like, so I've been through it, man.
You get it, man.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, so when you're not being like a really young-looking dad... You run the marketing for a pretty large pest control and I guess home services company, right?
Yeah. So, it was an interesting field. I had a lot of great experiences with companies in different industries prior to the pest control industry world. And, I had come to, at a crossroads with my marketing where I was just like, I'm ready to try... whatever. Like I was like, I can probably go to any industry at this point. And it had been because of, a decade's experience. So I was just like, I'm ready to try something new. And, the company found me. I was hanging out in Indeed.com and the offer came in and they actually had to convince me to join this industry, which is a weird kind of experience because I was like, I'm not going into pest control. Forget it. Me? No way. Right? But then, the numbers started to make sense. The growth of the industry, how, essential it really is, especially when you leave New York City and you don't have a super and you want to take care of your rodent issues, or it becomes a necessary service. And as I got to interview and understand, I was like, okay, this could be an interesting kind of industry. And I kind of told myself, like, all right, what's the real test, right? Like, if you're talking all that smack, and you go into an industry in which you have no real experience in, bring your skill set and do it. And I was like, yeah, let's try it, right? What's the growth I'm gonna get? It would probably be tremendous. And so I started in the pest industry world, doing something that, again, most people would never think that it would be, but it's a $50 billion industry.
Yeah, sure. It's no joke.
You get me? The company itself is $60 million a year company. So it's a pretty large, robust company. And I was able to kind of take it on, but they had some real marketing issues, lots of kind of holes that needed to be filled. And so not uncommon from where I see it, not when I come in and I did my kind of like 3 weeks assessment, which really is like really 3 months, but it's like a quick assessment. Yeah. I just started seeing all the holes and started plugging them, man.
That's crazy. Yeah. So $60 million company, you run the marketing for it. It's you, and how big's your team?
It's me and one other person. It's just us two. And we do it all. Yeah, we really, really do it all. Now, we are the tip of the iceberg. Obviously, we have vendors that help us, creative vendors that help us, like your team. Yeah. We have, different specialists that we pay for. But for the most part, it's a 2-man team. Yeah.
Is that common, though, in the industry, especially with companies that size? I imagine you guys are way leaner than...
It's not common. It's not. I don't think it's common in any industry. That's once you reach that mark of like that you're making, in the tens of millions. Yeah. It's not common. I've definitely been in different industries where I have teams of like 10 and 20 people.
Yeah.
This was, and I requested the hire. Like they were like, you're good. I was like, no. I want at least I need one more person.
It was just going to be you?
It was going to just be me. I put the request in and I said, I think, look, at the end of the day, whether your team is 2 or your team is 20, marketing is a team sport. It's not an individual, it's like, you can't be everything. And I knew that just from my experiences. Like I need someone to bounce off the ideas. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of bouncing. Yeah. It just goes one way and comes back.
Right off the wall.
Yeah, that's it. But at least there's someone to talk to about it. And I brought in Brian, and he was fantastic. He's super green, by the way. He's like, I graduated with marketing, which is great. And I always tell people, there's graduating with your degree and what I call applied marketing, which is very, very different, right? Applied marketing is something that only experience can teach you. And his courses started the day he hired, the day he was hired. I was like, get ready to roll with it because it's going to be a lot.
Yeah, no, it's true. I feel like I have a degree in marketing, and I'm like, where none of this happened? Like this is not real.
Yeah.
You learn more by just talking to people like you and by going out in the field and doing it rather than what any professor can kind of show you, especially 100%. Now with the way that media is, where tomorrow the new thing might be here and you got to throw out everything you knew yesterday.
I agree. It's, a lot of what we do is figure out how to stay on top of the curves in trending, right? And in marketing, it's a lot of is understanding how whatever new technology affects what I'm doing today and planning for tomorrow. That's the ideal situation. Yeah. Some people are just still trying to play catch up. Like they're still like, I just need my Google business claimed. There's a lot of companies that are in that situation too. But I think you're in the right space in your career in marketing when you're no longer trying to fix issues like how to claim my business, and you're in more of a how do we grow and find new audiences. That's the space where you want to be.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you're able to do that because You're probably able to do that more effectively with less people because it's like turning a rowboat, not the Titanic.
Well, yeah, 100%. I mean, there's that David Goliath thing, right? Where Goliath, if you have a strong team of like 20, 15, even 10 people, everyone has, an opinion and different skill sets, and you rely on each other. It's beautiful. I mean, it's great.
When it works.
But, like in basketball, a 2-man team can dominate really easily. You get me? You could have, a Shaq and Dwayne Wade and just destroy and win championships too, because the continuity is there between two people. And that's how I see our team. I would love to have a full set of team, but, if I got Dwayne Wade and I'm Shaq, all you gotta do is throw me the ball and I dunk it. That's a really strong team as well.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
It's just impressive. I mean, with that kind of revenue, I don't know what your marketing numbers are, but I'm pretty sure it's substantial.
Yeah. Well, we've grown 10% every month since I've been there, and it's been a fantastic year. It was last year was our full-fledged first year because we started the year before, but there was so much to work on in 2022, so many holes to plug. Right. 2023 was our first full-fledged year, and we've been exceeding expectations, awesome. Both my own and leadership as well, and the industry, because the company is linked to a parent company that has other, in every state has a marketing team handling that brand, and we've outperformed them all.
Are they looking at you going like, how?
They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like anything about us. But they appreciate where we come from because, when they have the ability to just do some things that we can't. Like they have the ability to spend the money on vendors that we don't even have the time to talk to. We love to talk to them, but we don't have that bandwidth. They appreciate that we can keep things kind of very focused and thin-lined. And I think the genius of it is that we don't waste time. Everyone we talk to, everyone we come in that we bring on, whether it's a vendor or a project, is a very clear set of goals of those projects. And timelines are everything for us. How much time is this going to give us to get it done? And we can't take things that takes months. We got to do things that takes days or weeks.
Sure. So you were in marketing prior to this. So how easy was it for you to take the marketing principles and apply it to bugs?
That was a tricky one. But I actually stopped thinking about the bugs and started thinking about the service, right? I think that was the change, the point of change, where I was like, look, whether you're coming to a home for plumbing or coming to a home for any contract work or coming to a home to remodel or paint or even, baby-proof a home, the same concept is that you're trying to help the homeowner. You're trying to help the homeowner through this situation so that they get better, right? That they feel more comfortable in their house. And I think when you start thinking about it like that, then it starts clicking. The homeowner, the family dog, we all want to be safe and comfortable in our home. And there is one of the biggest issues is pest. Sure. You don't want a beehive. You want to be out in your backyard enjoying your summertime. So to me, I started turning the corner when I started thinking of this as a lifestyle brand, right? This is a lifestyle brand. This is a certain way you want to come home and be comfortable and things be very easy for you. And the last thing you want after a long day's work is worry about raccoons in your trash can, right? So it's like it started making sense to me that way. Yeah.
When you really think about it, marketing is putting solutions in front of people that have problems, right? That's basically what you're doing, and you can apply that principle to really just about any audience, right?
Yeah. It's either a service. I went back to basics. I didn't graduate from a marketing degree. I had to kind of self-teach myself these things.
Sure.
And one of the things that I really broke down to is keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. And one thing is understand that integrated marketing is your best approach, right? I need to make sure that I corner the market on all things. So I broke it down into 4, and this is a model that you can find online. Into the peso model, it's paid, earned, shared, and owned. And if you're doing all 4 the right way, you have an integrated marketing plan. And so, when I came in to the company, I saw that they weren't doing social, but they were doing paid ads on Google, but they weren't doing paid ads on Facebook. They were doing this, but not that. So you definitely saw that there was a shift where people were like, all we're doing is a paid marketing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and that's not the integrated approach. That's not the balance. And so I introduced balance to it, and all of a sudden things started jumping up. I got a great company here to help Vivo, to help us with the the short form social media videos, and that blew up. Once I got you guys, I was like, check, moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on, right? Content is still king no matter what industry it is. And so as long as I got a great partner that can help us build that content, I can now move on to boring stuff like, I don't know, like sales agreements, which we had to redesign.
So check the other boxes. Yeah.
So it's part of that.
I love the peso. That's I love that. I actually never heard that.
It's a strategy. It's fairly old.
Yeah.
I read a lot of marketing books, and I listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm on my way up, and that was a strategy that I found, I don't know, like 10 years ago. And it's always, I'm Hispanic, I'm Latino, so to me, peso means money, so it made sense.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I was like,
that's what I thought you were talking about too. I was like,
but it's a great acronym, and that's what I approach. I mean, there's other approaches, but this is the basic structure of integrated marketing.
But that's to make sure you have your bases covered, right? Like that, basically, if you're covering that, you're doing an okay job.
Yeah, I know that there isn't something left untouched. You know? There's not a channel that I'm not working on.
Yeah.
If I have all those channels active. Yeah.
What do you think in the last? I'm going to say like the last 4 years, because the last 4 years, the state of the internet really has completely shifted.
Yeah.
Where do you think the biggest, I don't want to say bang for the buck, but basically the most important channel for a $60 million company is right now to be paying attention to?
I think the inclination would be paid, but it's not. It's really not.
Really?
Yeah. You could the other partners that handled the same industry company, but in different states. They're throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars into paid, and it's not working. Because when you're in the competition of just paid marketing, paid channels, there's always some bigger fish that can spend more money. It's never gonna stop. So organic is the channel. How can you get people to actually buy in and connect with your customers at a deeper level? Like one of our strategies when I came on, I kept, as I'm talking to the other marketing leads in different states, they're like, well, DIY are killing us. DIYs are killing. People want to do this themselves instead of call pest service. And, there's a lot of, judgment to that, because it's not only taking money out their pocket, but it's also like it's unsafe. You try to take a beehive out yourself, you can get some real problems. But I said, no, I embrace it. I embrace DIY. Why can't we partner with homeowners? If they want to do it themselves, odds are, if you could do it yourself, it's probably not something you need us for, right? It's if it's just to be frank, if it's all about like making sure the trash can lid is on your trash can so that the raccoons go away, please do that yourself.
Yeah, right.
Right? But if it's something like, wait a minute, there's a raccoon living in my attic.
Yeah.
That's a different level of like, I don't want to go in there. I'd rather send a professional wildlife catcher to go in there and go do that. And so I was like, why don't we provide content organically through our channels that give people that want to do it themselves the right to do it the right way? And if you need something that's out of your control, that's when you get us. That's when you call us.
You're the one. Yeah. I think too, what's smart about that is that there's always going to be people that'll do things themselves. Yeah. So if you do a lot of work and convince them to spend money with you, they're probably going to have a pretty bad taste in their mouth, even if you solve the problem when they could have done it themselves.
Yeah.
I've always been the type of salesperson that sell somebody only what they need.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want them leaving here thinking that they got sold.
Yeah.
I want them to leave here thinking that they bought something that they actually needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why that's so far-fetched.
It's a trend for, I think the last, especially after COVID, it's been a trend to like do things on your own, learn, anything from extreme like preppers to like, people that maybe just want to grow their own vegetables because they're tired of the pesticides or whatever that are used sometimes on that. And so, the whole idea is to like do it yourself and figure out an education, which I think it's a phenomenal place to be if you want to educate yourself on taking the things. But there are certain things that you can't.
Yeah, obviously.
There is a threshold there.
I'm not chasing after a raccoon.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to do that.
Like, not your average person would do that. I mean, if you
I know some crazies that would do it.
If you want to go hunting raccoons, go right ahead.
That.
But I think there's a point where you're just like, God, I wish I knew a pro that knew how to take care of this, that has my back. And so that's where, I think whether it's pest industry or any industry in which you give a service, you embrace the people that want to do it themselves, partner with them, and then say, look, come, if you look at our social media page, come on our TikTok, you get a lot of free tips on like doing things your own. But also that allows us to connect with you at a deeper level, because when you call us, it's because you really need us. And that's the whole idea.
Yeah, I think when you boil down branding, it's knowing somebody before you need them.
Yeah.
Right? Know us before you need us.
100%.
Right? And if you're able to get people to know who you are affordably, effectively, by being their partner, and doing it through these organic channels that were not available to us just a few years ago, you're going to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys are winning.
And we've seen it. We've had videos on TikTok go 1 million+ views. You've seen it. I mean, we've had such a big turnout on people that were like, this is a resource now. Yeah. Right. And I think when you can be the resource provider for people, that's the best kind of branding you can possibly imagine.
Yeah. I love that, man. Yeah. That's awesome. Do you, so is that something that you recommend for service-based industries, like going all in on a platform like that?
100%. I think if you're not doing your organic social media at a level that you're taking it as seriously as paid, you're doing a disservice to it, because everyone, it's short. When you need to look for information, you go to Google, right? Everyone goes to Google, right? When there's something wrong, paid channels are fantastic when there's an issue. But organic is fantastic when there isn't an issue. Mm-hmm. Right? And so if you need to spend the investment, the time to generate that content is still king no matter what, but to generate that content for organic actually paves the path to growth. Not paid, organic does. And so it's very important that you do it.
Yeah, that's wild, man, because you're speaking my language, because like I've been preaching this for a really long time. Yeah. The thing that I love about organic is that, number one, obviously you can go viral and have millions of people attracted to your brand that you would not have been able to afford those eyeballs if you wanted to spend that money on it. Mm-hmm. But I think what it also does is it paves the way for good paid ads, because like you said, content is king. Content is king on organic and paid. Yeah. Because if your ad sucks, it doesn't matter how much money you put behind it. It doesn't matter if you're the biggest spender. If that creative doesn't hit, it ain't going to do anything for you. Yeah. So being able to test out all of these organic pieces of content, have you guys tested that, where you've taken organic content and made it paid?
Not tested. It's part of this. It's part of the secret sauce. So like, a well-performing paid ad, it's a policy now. A well-performing organic ad is then turned into a paid ad all the time for us, all the time. We don't have, again, not a big team. We don't have the ability to do A/B testing and break down the numbers and see the nuances of splitting hairs and like this performed a little better. We know that when the organic post goes, performs very well, that means it has everything it needs to be a great paid ad. And for the last, I don't know, almost a year now, that's what we've been doing. I mean, as soon as we get a video, we sit down. I sit down with Brian. This is our big meeting. Me and Brian, we sit down like this and we go, all right, what performed well? Which video performed well this month? All right, let's tee it up, make it a paid ad. And it performs well. So for us, organic informs paid all the time.
I love that. Again, man, I've been preaching this for a long time and I want more people to understand, especially companies that are using paid and not getting the results.
Yeah. And there's a lot because you see, there's when I got here to the company, they were literally saying, yeah, we tried social, it doesn't work for us. That was the mentality. They were like, well, we tried posting, we do 1, 2, we did 2 a week and we did all this and they're like, it didn't work. We only get like 2 likes or 2 shares. And I'm just like, well, it's because ultimately you're not really taking it seriously. It's okay. The post rate, I get it, right? We want to keep posting up, right? But you're not investing time in developing short format videos. You're not developing the time into actually building a Facebook group and talking to people, something that we did, right? You're not taking the time to understand that this channel requires work and commitment, even more, I would say, the paid, right? So the paid is actually a complement to your organic social. Mm-hmm. So our marketing campaigns centers around organic and then spreads its wings out to paid when it performs well.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like, just keep saying that over and over and over again, and we'll just do that for half an hour. Because I feel like
it's true, man.
Of course it is. I see it true. With every client that we test that with.
Yeah.
The cost per acquisition drops.
Yeah.
The engagement skyrockets, and their ROI skyrockets. It's nuts.
It's the difference of like, how can I put it? It's like if you needed to reach a complete stranger, right? Would you throw money at someone to go tell them, hey, I want you to come to my house, right? That's weird. Or would you come to that person and go, hey, would you like to come? It's like why
absolutely.
You're introducing a third party into a relationship that you're trying to build for the first time. It's weird.
Absolutely. It's weird. You're asking to marry on the first date. That's what you're trying to do.
It's like
with
it's
a paid ad.
Weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
And so I firmly believe a lot of people, when they Google, they see it, they're like, oh, that's a sponsor ad. Well, let me scroll down.
Yeah, but
that's the spot where you want to be.
Yeah, and if you can make your paid creative seem like it's organic, it's home run. Because especially on social, as soon as we see that sponsored,
it's a wrap. You swipe.
Especially if it looks, I don't want to say like super polished, but if it looks like it's an ad, I'm gone.
Yeah, it's not even. It's a waste of effort and time for the people who are marketing.
Sure,
but it's also annoyance for the customer.
Yeah,
and
of course.
So or the target audience. So like it's a balance of both. How can you just take the space that you need? I mean, again, basic advertising, right? You gotta hit the person 7 different times. Right? Well, it can't be 7 different paid ads. It's not going to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? But organic, you have at least 7 different ways to do it in organic, right?
Yeah.
You could do it with a post. You could do it, just like a video, a DIY, educational. You could share a funny story. All these different ways is how you can market in organic that you can't do it in paid.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Before we wrap up, I just want, what's one good piece of advice that you, from a $60 million company, can you boil it down for somebody that's $1 million company or even a $500,000 company?
Yeah.
What's a takeaway marketing wise that you can apply
100%. I would say get the foundations right. So, but what does that mean? Get your CEO, get your SEO right. Get your Google claimed, your Apple business right, your Bing business right. And that will put you in the right piece for SEO. Get your content creating machine ready. So that's the second thing, right? If they can't find you, that's a problem, but that's why you get your SEO right. But if they can find you, focus on engaging them. Focus on engaging them. And, wherever company I land, the second thing I do after I figure out SEO is like, where's my content creating machine? Is it people on my team? Is it vendors that are there? Do we not have a content creation machine? If we don't, then we need to get one. And that's a mix of people and vendors and, but you need to put that in place because that's what's going to feed your organic. That's what's going to feed your paid. That's what's going to increase your SEO. That's what your customers are going to run into first.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Where can people get a hold of you and learn about the company and...
about my pest company? Yeah. You could definitely get a hold of us on TikTok and any of the social media channels. No, but JP McHale is a fantastic pest management company. It's been a pleasure to actually work in a company that's been around for 50 years and it's a mom and pop. It started as a mom and pop. Now it's part of a bigger international company, but it's fantastic to see that, a company that actually is still very connected to the community. So JP McHale is the pest company. We're focused on New York, but our content goes everywhere. Join us on TikTok. Join us on our website. We have a fantastic place. If you go visit our website, it's nopestsplural.com. That's how you can come to our website and see our content there, or on YouTube and TikTok. You can check us out as JP McHale.
Right on, man. Thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate
I'm happy.
you
Have a
coming.
good time.
This is great. Thanks.
Yeah.